おはようございます。私はナタリアです。これは ThirdEyeCyphs の別のエピソードです。And that means, what is up, people? Welcome back to another episode of ThirdEyeCyphs. My name is Natalia, and I'm your host. And this is a podcast where we, what do? This is a podcast on self-improvement, self-realization, esoteric knowledge, anything and everything spiritual, as well as conspiracy theories, law of attraction, current news that only pertains to what we're talking about if it can help us grow. Not like, oh, guess what Kim Kardashian did yesterday. I don't know what she did yesterday. I hope you don't know what she did yesterday. And that's just not what we're talking about. But we do talk about a bunch of other stuff that will help you realize your truest potential, because this universe is crazy, this reality is crazy, and my job is to make you aware of that. So, with that being said, let's get right into the episode!
ThirdEyeCyphs.
That is right, people. We're back. We're back with another episode. And it's been great. It's been great. Life has been great, if you guys can't tell. If you don't already, read my blog post. I have a blog. It's called thewritingsofnatalia.com. And you can follow it from your email. There's a little tab that says follow and a little subscription box somewhere. But just go to the side menu. It says follow. You'll sign up for my mailing list, and you will get notifications every time I post a blog post, which is every day. Or you can download WordPress, or you can just do whatever you want, because free will. Actually, I don't want to say free will because I'm kind of speculant. Is that a good word for it? No, I don't think so. Let's say speculant. This is what we're all about, guys. We're all about learning and growth, and as a writer, I should know if speculant is a word. But this is why I have dictionary.com downloaded on my phone. Let's say speculant. Yeah, I don't think it's a word. Speculant. What was I trying to say? Vigilant? Yeah, it's not a word. See, look, I just create words. Vigilant. Wait, what? Why did I even say that? Why did I even say that? Okay, anyways, we're moving on. I've been very, okay, no, not vigilant. That's not the word I meant. Very, I don't know. I'm like, free will, but like, nah. I don't mean that like we don't have free will. I mean, of course, like we have we have the conscious choice to make our decisions, right? So that's free will, right? So like, I have the free will to run outside naked. I have the free will to kill someone. Like, this is crazy, drastic stuff, guys. I'm not saying I'm gonna do any of this stuff, but I'm just saying that I can do that because I have the free will to. Like, I can make those decisions for myself, right? That is the free will. But I think that everything is already predetermined by the universe. It's already written in stone somewhere in the etheric realm or something. I feel like our lives are already planned out, no matter how many choices we make, how many decisions, how many turns, how many roads, how many flips and tricks we decide to do. It's already predetermined by lovely God himself, itself, herself, themself. So that's what I think, but I mean, I'm not telling you to believe what I believe, and I'm not saying I believe it either. I'm just saying that I think that is my perception and concept from what I've experienced in this reality so far, and who knows, that may change, because the more you learn, the more you know, the more your views change and perspectives change, and this is all self-development and growing, guys. This is how we engage in our beautiful human life. So, anyways, follow my blog, guys. Long story short, yeah, so anyway, I've been posting blog posts every single day. I've decided to commit to writing blog posts every day, because that's what writers do. If I'm going to be a writer, I'm going to write every day. I'm going to force myself to write every day because that is what I do. But getting into the experiment that I was actually talking about, for those of you who don't know my story a little bit, or don't really know how I manifested coming here to California, Los Angeles, I became aware of the law of attraction. Now, I was kind of aware of it beforehand, but I wasn't I wasn't exercising it as much as I was at this certain point in my life back in 2016. And I ended up getting very much consumed in law of attraction and trying to manifest moving out to California. And my thing was, I had my own apartment in Los Angeles and all this stuff. I was also going to be a billionaire too. The billionaire stuff hasn't happened yet because I haven't been pushing it. It only lasted that short amount of time, that little phase. So I was super like trying to manifest, and I was manifesting so easily at that time that literally if I thought something, it would appear in front of my face within seconds. It was practically insane. And this is why I try not to talk about it often, because that's not really what this podcast is about. And but I do talk about it in some episodes because it's all the same thing really. But at this point in my life, I'm very more interested in teaching you guys different practices, different spiritual paths, and how to help you on your spiritual path, not really how to manifest your dream life, even though that is absolutely some episodes, like how to manifest anything you want, why you're not manifesting correctly. I do have episodes like that if you guys want to look back at those. But anyways, so I was manifesting very fast, and I was trying to manifest getting my own apartment in Los Angeles. Now, I had my first acid trip. This is not to promote drugs or anything, but it awoke me to the reason why I wanted to be in Los Angeles and wanted to be a millionaire. It was very egotistical driven. So I instantly dropped all of that when I had that trip, and I ran away from home, and that was to go to California, but more on a spiritual pilgrimage. And I didn't end up in California when I did that, but I did run away, and I was living in Pennsylvania, which is like, I used to live there too. I left New York, by the way. I'm originally from New York, but I've lived in Pennsylvania for a few years. So I ran away to Pennsylvania just because I didn't want to be home. And it was actually, I was trying to go to California, but I got stuck in Pennsylvania, and I ended up just moving in with some family friends until I saved up money to move to California because I didn't have any money on me. It was a terrible plan. So long story short, during that time I was in Pennsylvania, I actually didn't really want to go to California anymore. I was trying to go to Hawaii, and my plans had changed because I didn't really care for what I was trying to create anymore. I was more very, very much interested in building myself, learning more about this universe, and I just wanted to travel. So I wasn't very set on California anymore, but I believe that the seeds that I planted beforehand to move to California ended up putting me in odd circumstances that actually made me move to California. And eventually I did end up getting my own apartment in Los Angeles. And it was just the way the turn of events happened. It was like the day I moved into my own apartment in Los Angeles, I was like, I literally created this a year ago, because it was only a year that I moved to California from the time that I left. So anyways, so I saw that, but the delay was because I wasn't putting in action towards that. But that's completely a different episode of how to actually manifest correctly, and I do have an episode on that. So anyways, I'm constant. We are creators of our life. We are constantly manifesting. We are constantly creating our lives, whether we're aware of it or not. So, practicing the law of attraction, that's all about making the conscious effort to actually try and create your life. So, this is my experiment now, guys. I know that I can manifest anything that I want. I know that you can manifest anything you want. Now, what I am building right now is my business back up. Now, it's been up. The Writings of Natalia has been up since I left. Since I left to California, I started the Writings of Natalia. And it was just a blog for my photography and my writing to document my travels, because I am planning on traveling the world. So that blog was more to document my travels, my writings, my art, and so that's all that was. But then over time, after I got my apartment, I started thinking about building the writings of Natalia more, writing more, and, I do plan on writing physical books and becoming a best-selling author, guys. So that was something I really started building, I want to say 2 years ago, because this last year I didn't really freaking do anything because of the pandemic. So right before the pandemic actually hit, that year, the beginning of 2020, like the first month of 2020, I started the podcast too. As you guys know, I started the podcast. I was very driven. I was starting the podcast. I was writing more. I had released my ebook, A Road to Enlightenment, if you guys don't know. I was very going forward. I was going to temple. I was doing all of this stuff. And then COVID happened. I had to move in with my boss, and my life became very consumed with the yoga studio. So anyways, that's why I kind of took a year break. But now I'm back in it, guys, and I am trying to build the writings of Natalia into the brand and business that it is. And my experiment now, since I am so driven and inspired, is that I am going to manifest the writings of Natalia into intently a multi-billion-dollar company. But that seems extreme, but you have to go extreme when it comes to manifesting. So my goal is to create the writings of Natalia into a multi-billion-dollar business. Haku, you have to get out of here. I'm sorry. I love you. Say hi. Mwah. But she stopped my whole entire podcast last week, and I had to record. I didn't even know, and I had to re-record the entire thing. Well, halfway, basically. So, anyways, that is what I'm doing right now, and I'm letting you guys know, like, right now, because there was a very big shift between last week's episode and this week's episode. So I'm just letting you guys know beforehand, I am building my brand. If you would like to support me and follow me, Haku, you have to get out of here. Get down. No. Sorry, I don't like yelling at her live. But if you guys would like to support me, I would completely appreciate that, because you are my people. Like, you listen to my podcast. I am grateful for you. You are my audience, and I would love if you guys could follow me on this journey, because I am going to be writing blog posts every day. I'm going to be providing this podcast with a lot of things. I'm going to be releasing a lot of things, and it's huge. A lot of stuff is going to be happening, and I'm very excited, and I hope you guys support me and follow me. So if you do, please go to thewritingsofnatalia.com, click that follow, and sign up for my mailing list, because I will be I'm not bombarding you guys with email, guys. Like, I don't have enough time to be writing so many emails to you, so don't think you're gonna get spammed by me. You're not. But when you do receive an email from me, it will have insight in it. It will have maybe like the last episode of the podcast, maybe some resources. My website will also have resources for you guys. I'm just going to be having a lot of guys to help you guys become your best version, and that is what the writings of Natalia is. It's a brand. It's a brand business, but I'm going to have different services to help you guys. I'm going to have resources for you to help push you, to help inform you. If you guys don't know, there's the ThirdEyeCyphs Facebook group. I know a lot of you aren't on Facebook, but if you are on Facebook, I really I don't even know. I encourage you to join this Facebook group. I will be sharing a lot of information that I talk about on this podcast episode, so you can get further information on each episode if you guys like, or if I find something that isn't mainstream and I really want you guys to find out about, like current news or just things that you should be aware of. I will be sharing on there so you can stay informed and stay learning. So anyways, that's what the writings of Natalia is, and of course me writing blog posts every day. I'll be releasing books, poetry, art, all of that. But I'm just, sorry, I'm like advertising to you this, but like I'm super excited, so that's just what I'm letting you know. But I mainly wanted to tell you about the experiment because I want you to see now that I have now put in the intention to manifest the writings of Natalia into a very successful business, and you can see it start off now. Haku thinks she's like playing a game. Like, I'm sorry, like you can't be here. Like, what do you think this is? She's like, she keeps running up up and off of the desk like it's a game. Like, she's gonna freaking turn off this thing and I'm gonna be upset. Okay, I'm not gonna be upset, but I'll be frustrated. I will be frustrated. I'll be honest with that. So yeah, I just want you guys to see it from its starting point. This isn't really its starting point. This is kind of like it pushing off. Its starting point was back in, 2017, 2018. And that, it wasn't really anything at that point. So I just want you guys to see it now, and I want you guys to be aware that it is going to become a very successful business, and that I am consciously manifesting it and putting in the effort to create it into a very successful business. And I am documenting every single thing that I'm doing so that when it is a very successful business that is bringing in multiple streams of passive income, I am going to provide you with how I did this. I am literally documenting everything that I'm doing, marking it down so that I can tell you step by step everything that I did to create this business into a very successful one. So I just want to let you guys know about that little experiment that I am doing, and I hope you are excited for me. I'm very excited. As you can tell, I ran on about it for about 15 minutes. So anyways, getting into this freaking episode, guys, I apologize. How are you? How are you? How are you? Ask yourself right now. How am I? How am I? How have you been? How has your days been? What has been happening in your days? Have you been feeling good? Have you been feeling inspired like I have? Have you been feeling driven? Have you been feeling sad? Have you been feeling lonely? Have you been feeling confused or lost? Well, look no further, people, because I am here to guide you. I hope you guys are well. I hope you're taking care of yourself, your health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health. So, to do a quick check-in with that, we are pulling out our self-check-in list, our self-care check-in list. I am actually, another thing, I am going to be creating these little lists for you guys so that you can download and either print out or you can just copy. It's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. I'm telling you. I'm just very excited. I am gonna provide these lists for you guys. And then I will leave space that you can add your own things, because of course you have your own things to do. That you feel is part of your personal self-care checklist. So first and foremost, have you been drinking water, guys? I can't stress this enough. Water is so good for you, but not only is water good for you, good water is good for you. So I'm talking about fluoride-free water. Now, I know this is very hard to come by. Very good water filter, okay? There's tons of fluoride in it. I live in a part of California, Los Angeles, okay? There's tons of fluoride in it. I live in a part of California, Los Angeles, that has very harsh water, and I want to say a very high amount of fluoride in it, which is very upsetting, but I rent, so it's not like I can install a filtration system into where I live. So I buy a lot of water to cook with and drink, but I can't avoid showers. I can brush my teeth with that water, but I don't really want to, honestly. It's kind of a waste. It's not really a waste if, like, you're super, I don't know. But anyways, so, good water, fluoride-free, preferably. Try to keep your water not in plastic. Try not to keep anything in plastic. Plastic leaks the chemicals that it's made from, and it is entering your drinks, it is entering your food, and I highly suggest you do not consume things out of plastic, especially microwave things out of plastic, but preferably keep your water in glass or maybe stainless steel, something like that, or maybe something wood. I don't know if you have those, or bamboo. Bamboo is like a good wood. Bamboo wood? I don't know. So next is healthy food. Are you eating organic? Or organic food? Organic food is good, guys. Come on, we gotta get on the organic stuff. Or if it's not even organic, like, and I'm talking about like produce and vegetables, like soak it in water overnight, or maybe at least for a couple of hours, because there are literally pesticides on probably everything that we eat, especially like fresh produce. Dark leafy greens. The darker the green, I have to come up with a saying for this because I always say it and I always get stuck. The darker the green, the healthier the pea? Let's say that. The darker let's say that. I'll come up with it. The darker the green, what did I say? The darker the pea? Oh, the healthier the oh my gosh. Anyways, next, dark greens, guys. They're best greens for you. The darker the green, the healthier it is, okay? Non-GMOs. Why would you want to eat a genetically modified organism? I talk about this all the time. Anything that's like, oh, this is a genetically modified organism. I'm not eating it, okay? Don't eat it. Mental health. Are you taking a break? Are you resting? This is so important. I have to keep reminding myself this too, because the last time I pushed myself to move forward in my business, I overwhelmed myself and I broke out into highs and ended up in the hospital, ended up with a $6,000 hospital bill because I wasn't insured, which I started a GoFundMe for. As you guys may know, I talked about it maybe in last week's episode or the week before, but I asked the universe, I asked my lovely Lord to help me with this bill, and she did. I was blessed with a approval for financial assistance, and they paid for the whole thing, so I am debt-free of that terrible hospital bill. Thank you. Oh, we need a freaking congratulations button. Thank you. Let's do it. I am very happy. I literally, once I got the letter of approval, I started bawling my eyes out. I ran into my little temple with the letter in my hand and cried in front of Ma and was like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy. I love you so much. Thank you so much. I was extremely grateful, and it's great, and I'm so happy. But this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, anything you set your mind to, like, you could just have it, literally. I want to throw a quick tip in there, not to move us off of the list, but the higher the vibration you're resonating at, the faster things manifest. So, sit manifesting faster. So you may have noticed things in your life manifesting faster because your vibration is higher because of this age, this new manifesting faster. So you may have noticed things in your life manifesting faster because your vibration is higher because of this age, this new world. Okay, end of tip. This new world. So anyways, are you relaxing? Are you playing? Are you creating? Are you doing a bunch of fun stuff that releases your inner child? Because you should. And in this week's episode today, we're going to be talking about why you should do exactly that. But before we start talking about that, I want to ask you, do you have an emotional support system? Do you have friends that you can talk to? Do you have friends that you can talk to? Do you have family that you can talk to? Do you have anybody that you could talk to? Either a therapist, a teacher, a mentor, a brother, a sister, anybody, a friend, a spouse. Can you talk to them? Can you talk to them? Can you talk to them vulnerably? That's the real question. Like, yes, you can obviously have a conversation with them, but can you say the truest depths of your soul to them? Can you speak your truth to them? Can you be completely vulnerable to them? Can you say what you feel to them? And do they support you when you do? Do they understand you? Do they listen to you? Do they help you? This is an amazing emotional support system. And if you don't have this, you can find someone. I'm sure there are tons of groups on the internet that you can find that will help you with this. If not, I will help you with this, okay? If you do feel very alone, whether it's on this path or in general, and you feel like you need a friend, like I am honestly your friend, I will talk to you. I am here for you, okay? Don't do anything crazy. No, I'm joking. But no, I'm serious. Like, I am literally here for you, and that is what my business is. That is what I'm creating. My life is dedicated to helping others. This is what this podcast is. This was my first initiation. Well, now my first active, I don't even know what I was trying to say. This is like my first entryway into helping people, this podcast. This podcast originally started off with me giving tips to people who were already on the path, and just to let them know things that I had just come across by, or things that, you know, I missed or should have known earlier, or things that I just learned. mostly for myself, but for other people who may come in contact with the same things that I have on the path. But since I started the podcast, I didn't expect so many people to not just be, like, not already be on the path and just be starting off on the path. So it kind of changed my perception and the type of episodes that I do to pertain to everybody, to help those who don't really know too much about the spiritual path, give them more information. So anyways, that's what that was. So I'm here for you guys. I'm here for you guys. You can always DM me. My Instagram is Natalia of Earth, or you can send me an email. I closed worldofnatalia@aol.com. It's kind of long, so I don't even want to give you my actual email. But if you do, it's on my Instagram, my email. It's natalialee@thewritingsofnatalia.com. So if you guys can remember that, if you know my name, Natalia Lee @thewritingsofnatalia.com. You can always send me an email, or you can just DM me on Instagram. You can send voice messages on Anchor, I believe. But yeah, I am here for you. So, besides the emotional support system, do you have a way to express yourself? Are you journaling? Are you creating art? Are you doing something that lets you express your emotions in a very out there way and not filtered, or you feel like you have to do certain things or like be a certain person? Like, none of that, right? So I hope you do. And if not, where can you grab these things? Where are you lacking at these things in your life? Or what can you add to this list? What do you have in this list that you feel should be on there? If you have any tips, please submit them to add to this list, because I will be creating a physical list for you guys, so that you could have. But I hope, so again, I hope you guys do have this. And if not, where can you improve? What do you want? What do you don't want? What do you feel like you need in your life? And all that good stuff. So I do hope you guys are well. And yeah, today, before we talk about the main topic of this episode, a lovely word from our sponsors here at Anchor. Okay, so reading, your weekly card reading. And guess what I pulled from, guys? The Native Spirit Oracle card deck. I have felt called to reading your weekly card reading. And guess what I pulled from, guys? The Native Spirit Oracle card deck. I have felt called to pull from this deck, I think early this week. I was like, this week I have to pull from the Native Spirit deck. I'm feeling the ancestors. And especially because spring is rolling around, there's a new season, I have actually really felt the ancestors and the spirits working around, doing their thing, trying to send their messages, and I've been feeling it. And actually, I want to talk really quickly about a meditation that I had 2 days ago, the day before yesterday. I haven't connected with my spirits in a really long time, guys. I'll be honest. I don't want to say I forgot about my spirits, but I become so consumed with the universe and God itself that I've just been ignoring my guides and my spirits and my ancestors. Because I'm always in a constant conversation with the universe. I'm always in a constant conversation with God. God, universe, I use them interchangeably. I'm talking about the same thing. I'm not talking about God, a spirit man with a beard sitting on a cloud in the sky. That's not the type of God I'm talking about. I'm talking about Brahman, the Tao, the Vedas, everythingness and nothingness, Shiva, eternity, infinite, the God particle. What is that space matter? What is the matter? What is the black matter? No. What is that called? Like, space matter? All that stuff that's, like, in space, but it's, like, nothingness. It's like, oh, man, I can't think of the word. It's, like, space matter? It's not space matter. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, I'm talking about everything. The consciousness that lies within us. The thing that we all are a part of. That is what I talk about when I say the universe or God. I use them interchangeably. But God does have a personality, which is very interesting that I've come to learn. And that is why I feel I have such a deep connection with the universe. And I have become a devotee, a bhakta. I practice bhakti yoga, which is the yoga of devotion. So, anyways, I've been so immersed in bhakti and speaking with God itself that I have ignored my spirits and guides for a few years now. And recently, the day before yesterday, well, I've been listening recently to a lot of podcasts, especially about building my business, but a spiritual business. And one of the podcasters that I listen to, I think the podcast is called Awaken Your Inner Witch. And she works with spirits. So in the podcast, she'll be like, yeah, I'll ask my spirits, blah, blah, blah. But I just keep hearing her mention spirits. And I'm like, man, I haven't connected with my spirits in a while. So the day before yesterday, I went into a meditation and I was about to do some work for the business. And I called onto my guides for help so I can speak with them, because I haven't spoken with them in a while. So I was like, let me, reintroduce myself. I know they know who I am, but like, let me just kind of work my way back in here before asking them for help, of course. So I set myself up in this meditation to meet my spirit guides, and I did meet my spirit guides. Now, I'm not going to say I saw like different faces and all that, because I really didn't. I saw like these figures. I'm not going to go into detail about this meditation, but I did speak and connect with my guides. So it's been very interesting lately, and I have been very connected lately, because I feel like me pushing on this path has been it's been a life-changing experience within this past week, because I am being fully supported by the universe, and it is showing me that. So I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now, and especially since I connected with my guides so easily the other day, and that they support me as well, is insane, guys. But that was just like a small little thing that I just wanted to tell you guys, because I haven't connected with spirits in a while, and I did, and it was very interesting. If you guys want to know more about that meditation, I can let you guys know. Please DM me or send me some kind of message to know that you want to hear about this meditation, and then maybe you can connect with your guides as well. And I didn't get this meditation from anywhere. I kind of like, improvised with different guided meditations that I've done. So I kind of walked myself through like a personal guided meditation to set myself up in a situation where I would meet my guides, and it actually freaking worked. So I'm gonna be releasing some guided meditations for you guys, and some affirmation pieces with sound bits. I don't know what the heck you call it, MP3s, videos, I don't know how I'm gonna provide it. That's why I'm like, videos, MP3s, I don't know. So anyways, I've been feeling like connecting with the spirits and the ancestors. So I was like, as soon as I ran to my little temple today, I was like, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, my little temple, I posted a picture around Mahashivratri of my little temple altar space. So I run up there, and this morning I'm like, we're gonna pull from the native spirit deck, and I'm so excited. And I actually pulled 2 cards, but what I asked was to the spirits and ancestors is, what is a reading for me, my listeners and I. So I received 2 cards. One was for me, I know, because once I started reading it, I instantly knew that it wasn't for the podcast, but for me. Originally, I thought 1 card had flew out, but then when I pulled the 1 card, it ended up being 2, and then that 1 card was absolutely for me, and I'm not going to tell you guys because that's my card reading, but the other card was absolutely for us, and I could tell that as well. So I pulled from the Native Spirit Oracle card deck. This is by Denise Lynn, and we got the Spirit of Air. The Spirit of Air. And this is so beautiful because, so this card, it's very blue. You can see the sky and then kind of a horizon of mountains, like a bunch of mountains, like going out into the distance, like a very mountainous area. And the Spirit of Air is the spirit that carries miracles, that carries messages, that speaks the word of the ancestors, of the gods and goddesses, and God itself. It brings everything. It brings wind, it brings pollen, it helps pollinate the world. It brings us oxygen. It is a life giver, the Spirit of Air. And when I pulled it, I felt it so much because with spring happening, it feels as if there is this calling or this refreshment of a wind passing by, of a new feeling, of a new rebirth. So I thought this was a very beautiful card to pull, and I am going to tell you what this card says. The Spirit of Air, card meaning: clarity and expansive perception of life is emerging. You're being advised to see life from a higher perspective. Clear out mental clutter. Breathe. All is well. Do not be concerned. The cobwebs are being cleared away. Communicate your truth. Take care of details. Pay attention and don't let things slip through the cracks. Take time to hear the truth of others. Spirit is whispering to you. Open your mind to see a situation in a new light. Your native spirit wants you to know the Spirit of Air represents the mental aspect of your life. It's the part that has the capacity to discern, analyze, organize, evaluate, and judge. Though seemingly subtle and unseen, air is composed of the most rarefied energy fields, and we're in a constant communion with the vast universe through our breath. The Spirit of Air carries the energy of change and transformation, inspiration, aspiration, mental clarity, freedom, perception, communion, and communication. The element of air allows you to see situations from a higher perspective. This card can indicate that it's time to do some major clutter clearing and organizing. Here's the journey. One of the most direct and powerful ways to receive messages from Spirit is through the air spirit. The Cherokee people and many other native tribes believe that the winds were messengers sent by the Creator, and they carried information from the sacred realms. When you go outdoors, notice the movement of air across your skin. Whether it is the subtlest breeze or the powerful wind of a storm, take a moment to stop and listen. Get a sense of what messages it might have for you. I thought that message was so beautiful because I feel that all the time, especially when it comes to air and the wind. I talk about, if you guys read my poetry, and a lot of my poetry and a lot of my blog posts, I very subtly mention the wind, listening to the wind, feeling the wind, hearing whispers of the air, the breeze through the trees. This is all me communicating the messages I feel from Spirit, from the universe, through the wind, through nature. So I refer to the wind and air a lot in my poetry and blog posts. So, inspiration, rebirth, widening your perspective, having a higher perspective. Mental clarity, freedom, transformation, change, communion, communication. I feel like these are like the spring spirits to invite us into this new phase of life. We are emerging, we are transforming. It's like we were all little like caterpillars in a cocoon this whole time, and now that spring has broken, we are breaking out of our cocoon and we are now turning into butterflies. So, again, this card is telling us to listen. Learn to listen to other people's truths. Learn to listen to nature. Surrender to whatever messages may come to you. This is a time of rebirth and transformation. A time for listening and being. And clearing out old clutter, getting rid of things that no longer serve us so that we can allow this new energy to enter our lives. Because how can we allow new energy to enter our lives if our whole life is bombarded with a bunch of old energies? So, clearing out our space, clearing out our energy field, clearing out our contacts list, our messages, our inbox, our DMs, our rooms, our homes, our cars, everything. Clear it all out. Whatever you don't need, get rid of it. How can you expect more things to enter into your life? So that is what the Spirit of Air is telling us, is that this is a time for inspiration. Are we going to listen? Are we going to listen? Wow, thank you for that, spirits, lovely spirits of the world. And it's so crazy because, like, look at this. We're already 40 minutes in, and, like, what do we talk about? Like, 15 minutes of my business, and then now what, guys? Look at us. Look at us. No, but I do want to talk about, briefly, how our childhood shapes us. I did mention that I was going to talk about this in last week's episode, so that was why I stuck with it this week. Our childhood does shape us, guys, and I think about now we should all know that, but I think that we need to understand how much it really shapes us. Now, for example, I'm going to talk about maybe, what is a certain situation that has happened that made me think about this? Okay, I don't know. I can't think of a personal example right now, but maybe it'll come to me. So, when you're a child, this is kind of how child brain development works, right? So, when we're babies, this is 0 to 1 years old, we're in need of loving interaction, touch, and nutrition. We need to feel that sense of human interaction. If a baby is born and it is not touched at all for its first year, maybe, or at least 6 months, no human interaction. If it doesn't have any human interaction, any love, any touch, loving touch, it might grow up to be a psychopath. Now, it's not because it's a baby and it's like, oh, these people don't love me, I hate the world. Like, it's not thinking that at all. It's a freaking baby, okay? It can only, by age 1, infants typically understand about 70 words that they speak. And they only speak, that they hear, but then they only speak like a handful of them. So their brain isn't very much that developed. 60% of an infant's energy intake from food is used for brain growth, because this is only their first year, right? So it's insane how much we rely on other human interaction. Now, from 1 to 2 years old, this is when the most brain development occurs. And a lot of the nutrients that we get from our foods are, essential nutrients are very critical building blocks to building our brain. And then by this age, from 1 to 2, the toddlers, little babies, become increasingly independent and interested in new things. And at 18 months, a toddler's spoken vocabulary starts to explode. They add 1 new word every 2 waking hours. So they are constantly grabbing information from their environment, from what they're hearing, from what they're seeing, and they are learning to understand their environment and their reality and learning to engage with it. Now, once they reach 2 years and up, their brains are like fully like building. They have a 300-word vocabulary, and they can put simple 2-word sentences together, kind of. And they imitate behavior of others, especially adults and other children. So this is them trying to learn how to interact with their environment. Oh, this is what, like, when we're babies, we idolize our adult figures because those are who we're dependent upon. Those are who we are supposed to watch and mimic and follow and go to for safety. So we imitate them and we try to interact with them, right? So this is very important because we are grabbing things from what we're seeing as a child, whether it be physically, like mentally, and emotionally and spiritually. So anything that was happening in your household while you were young, you were absorbing that either subconsciously or consciously. Our childhood shapes us in the way that when we grow up seeing certain things, we sometimes unconsciously attach ourselves to things. So say we grow up maybe poor or in a scarcity mindset. We grow up with a scarcity mindset, being unaware that we even have a scarcity mindset, that is just what we were raised around. And we absorb the energy from our family who had that type of energy around. So we have these kind of ancestral, I don't want to say ancestral bonds because that goes way deeper than this lifetime. It goes into past lifetimes with ancestors. But I mean, it is familiar, I don't know, I think it's familial, I don't know if that's even a word. I need to stop trying to use words that I really don't know. But I think this is great because then, this helps me learn words, guys. It helps you learn words, guys. I'm gonna look it up real quick, familial. It is a word relating to the characteristic of family. I knew it, yes. Familial bonds, okay? Appearing in individuals by heredity. So, yes, a familial disease. That is a disease that runs through the family. Yes, yes, yes. Using it right. Expanding, growing. Come on! That was me cheering myself on. So, anyways, so that's kind of what's happening. Now, when we talk about trauma, we might not know what actually is trauma. Like, I didn't know I had trauma until I noticed certain things in my life where things would come up that I would be kind of against, or I would feel an automatic, like, repel from, but not knowing why. And, just certain things that happen in my life that makes me be like, okay, well, why am I like this? And then, you kind of dig deeper within, and then you find out that it does have to do with some sort of trauma that you may have in the past. So here are some common types of childhood trauma. Abuse and neglect, of course. Family violence. It doesn't even have to be with you. It could be maybe you've seen your dad hit your mom or vice versa. Or maybe even yell at each other or be very physical, like throwing things. That can be very traumatic as well. Community violence, just in your area, your neighborhood. Maybe you didn't grow up in a good neighborhood. That itself builds trauma within you. It can make you very scared, growing up scared, very much in the root chakra. You're constantly thinking of survival and how can you protect yourself. And your ego is very much a type of protectant to protect you, so you can have a very strong ego. School violence. This goes the same for seeing violence in school. Life-threatening accidents or injuries. You could have been in a car accident, any type of accident, or have had an injury that may have threatened your life can scare you very much to the point where it embeds that trauma within your body and you feel unable to do certain things in your adult life. Frightening and painful medical procedures. Serious and untreated parental mental illness. This is so huge, guys, because we as kids do not know if our parents are narcissists, are depressed, suicidal, schizophrenic. What's that other word? Manic. we don't know this as kids, and we absorb this energy, we see this energy, and we are victims of this energy. And if that parent has untreated mental illness and it's serious, that absolutely projects on you as a child. Loss of or separation from a parent or other loved one. Natural or man-made disasters, war or terrorist attacks, forced displacement or refugee status, discrimination, extreme poverty. So there are many impacts of childhood trauma. There's cognition. It impairs readiness to learn, difficulty problem solving, language delays, problems with concentration, poor academic achievement. Your physical health, it could make you have sleep disorders, eating disorders, a poor immune system, cardiovascular disease, and a shorter lifespan. You can have difficulty controlling your emotions, trouble recognizing your emotions. You have limited coping skills, increased sensitivity to stress, shame and guilt, excessive worry, hopelessness, feelings of helplessness, lack of self-efficiency. Now, hearing this increased sensitivity to stress, this relates to me a lot. When I was younger, I would wake up in the middle of the night to hearing my parents argue. And when my dad would argue, it was very scary because he was very loud. And when I would walk into the room and see them arguing, because it's not like I would hear them and sometimes try to ignore them, but then sometimes I would walk out and see them arguing, and my dad would be in my mom's face yelling at her with, like, he never hit her, I don't think. She never told me that he hit her. I don't think so either, because, like, I love my dad. He's not a violent person, but I feel like he could have been pushed to that edge because well, not anymore because he's old now, but he did get angry very easily, and I didn't have a very good relationship as a child because he didn't know how to relate to me. He was constantly yelling at me, like the same way he would yell at my mom, like screaming at the top of his lungs in my face, putting his hands in my face, like threatening me, like it was very bad, but I was never physically abused at all, and I'm extremely grateful for that. But when I would see my parents argue, and my dad scream at her, and it was very scary, and I would start crying, and I would try to tell them stop as a little kid, but I honestly don't really remember the certain situations because I was very little, but my mom would tell me that whenever my parents would argue, I would have night terrors that night, and I would wake up screaming at the top of my lungs, like crying my eyes out hysterically, screaming at the top of my lungs, scared to death, sweating, fighting, and it very much does have an impact on you as a child, and I'm even somehow getting emotional thinking about that now because it is a thing, whether you're aware of it or not. And even like increased sensitivity to stress now, like look at me, I broke out into hives because I was stressed. Like that has never happened to me before. So I could personally be very sensitive to stress, and it wasn't that, it was when I hear people argue, or if I see a confrontation, like even now, if I see a confrontation about to happen, or if somebody starts arguing in front of me, I get scared. And it's not like I'm scared something is gonna happen, but I think it is my inner child being scared of arguing. Like anytime somebody is about to argue, if I see somebody argue, if somebody's arguing in front of me, there's like kind of this tenseness that arises in me, and I kind of get scared. Like I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be in the room. I just want to immediately stop the situation because I am starting to feel scared. It's not even like uncomfortable or no, like I genuinely feel scared for some reason. And maybe that's some trauma that I have to work through. But this is just a way that it reflects into my life, so maybe that relates to you. So in relationships, you can have attachment problems or disorders. poor understanding of social interactions, difficulty forming relationships with peers, problems in romantic relationships, intergenerational cycles of abuse and neglect. If you grew up being abused and you feel that that is the right way, or it just happens to reflect in your adult life, you yourself can become an abuser. And it will be an endless cycle, because then that child that you have that you are abusing will grow up thinking the same thing and end up abusing their child, and then it's a constant cycle. It can affect your mental health, depression, anxiety, negative self-image, self-esteem, post-traumatic stress disorder. You can become suicidal. Growing up, this is not to throw my dad under the bus, but as a kid, my dad would say, "What are you, stupid?" Or like, "These are things that I hate about you," like, "Oh my god, I hate that about you," or like, certain things that would bring me down and make me feel like I wasn't worthy or I wasn't good enough. And that very much impacted my self-image growing up, especially as like as a preteen, because I was aware at the time that I became a preteen, like around maybe 14, or I want to say 13, 14, I guess it's teen, I don't know, I say that's preteen, but I became aware of what was happening because I was more aware. I was just more aware. And then I started taking a stand for myself, but I was going through a lot at that time, and even having that was putting an impact on me. So I was suicidal, not because of that, but that was just a thing that was added on top of it. And I didn't feel very great about myself. Behavior, poor self-regulation, social withdrawal, aggression, poor impulse control, risk-taking or illegal activity, sexual acting out, adolescent pregnancy, drug and alcohol misuse. Now, these mentioned have a lot to do with the type of household you were raised around, and sort of the type of limitations that you had growing up. So risk-taking, illegal activity, this can be a result of you growing up in a household where there was illegal activity, or going to a school and living in a bad neighborhood where there was constant illegal activity, that you are just automatically involved in that type of activity because that is what everybody's doing, that is just how the lifestyle is, and it's gonna, again, repeat into an endless cycle. Drug and alcohol misuse, this goes for the same thing. Aggression, seeing aggression in the household could make you an aggressive person and make you become aggressive in school to others. And then brain development. If this happens as a child, you can have a smaller brain size. You could be less efficient in processing things. You can have an impaired stress response. That's very big. An impaired stress response, the fight or flight hormone. Changes in gene expression. You can change your DNA with stress, guys. You can change your DNA and rewire it. This is why ancestral trauma healing is a thing. Now, really quick, to close off this episode, this was just so that you can become aware of how much our childhood actually does shape us, especially as a very small child when our brain is still developing. And how small things, like I said, when, certain things that my dad have said to me did affect my image, or as a little child, seeing my parents argue, now as an adult, still getting scared in front of confrontations, not even when it's going to be a big confrontation, or if something seems like it's going to turn into a confrontation, I feel that stress response in me, I guess you could say, and I do get scared and I avoid those situations. So those are just small things that can affect you in your life now. Seeing your father do certain things, and then even, it doesn't even have to be negative, like seeing your parents a certain way as a child can make you want to be the exact opposite. Maybe your father abused you, and now you have put every single effort in to become the best father as possible you can be to your child, because you don't want your child to live the same way that you did. So it doesn't always have to be negative, but our childhood does shape us now. It makes us who we are, whether we want to become a better person, whether we want to become the same person as our parents or our family or our situation or whatever happened. If we still embody trauma from incidents or injuries or accidents that may have happened, affect our lives now. We have an emotional body that keeps trauma. If you have been in a car accident, and maybe let's say you broke your leg, right? And your leg is completely healed over the years, like your leg should be fine, but you still get leg pain and you go to the doctor and they can't find it. Energetically, you may have trauma still in that spot from that accident. It is held in your emotional body, and it is expressing itself through physical pain. So a doctor may not be able to find it, but maybe an energy healer can. So this is another thing to think about. So again, closing off this episode real quick, I would like to provide you with some journal prompts to awaken your inner child. Some things that you can ask yourself. If you guys would like to write this down, you can while listening right now. So grab a paper and pen, pause this really quick, or just put it in your phone, whatever works. I will also be posting this list on the Instagram post that I post to advertise this episode. So these questions will be up today on my Instagram. So you could just screenshot. But if you don't have Instagram, then whatever, guys. So, question number 1. How do you, inner child, see me, adult self? So this is you connecting with your inner child and asking yourself, how do you see adult life? How do you feel about adult life? If it was me, I'm just gonna give an example and then I'll go through the list. If it was me, right, I was like, this adult life sucks. It sucks, but it doesn't suck, okay? Like, the responsibilities that I have, all the things, all the stress that I've been through as an adult so far, it's very upsetting. And it's very upsetting. And my inner child does not like it. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I do actually age regress. Not constantly, but when I am feeling stressed, or if I just want to get away from the everythingness of everythingness and just be a child again, I do age regress. And it's not like I'm a little freaking baby like, meh, and then I have like a freaking, my cat just woke up because I made that sound. And I have like a pacifier and stuff, because people do age regress like that. Like, there is a whole entire thing like that where people have pacifiers and they drink out of a bottle and they wear diapers. Like, that is complete age regression. But this is also a result of this childhood trauma, or being neglected as a child, or neglecting your inner child, so that when people become an adult, that they want to connect with their inner child more. But some people just age regress to the point where they're like complete babies. That is not me. I just regress to a child where I just want to get it, like, I don't understand any of this adult stuff. I'm done. I just want to color. I just want to drink strawberry milk boba, which is freaking bomb. And yeah, I'm a little freaking baby. Well, not a little tiny baby, but, like, I am. So, this is like that. So me, I would have been like, man, this adult life sucks. Like, I just want to go home. Like, I just want to color. I just want to paint a picture. I want to play at the park. I want to swing. Yeah. So, but the question was, how do you see me, adult self? I would be proud of myself, honestly. I would be my own idol. I'd be like, yeah, do you, girl, do you. Be the best person you can be. But I'm not a dancer, so maybe I would be a little ashamed of myself. Because I really strongly wanted to be a dancer when I was younger. How do you describe your current state of being? I don't know if a child can answer that. What is the main issue that needs to be healed? What do you feel needs to be healed? How can I help you heal it? What should we do more of? What would you enjoy to do more of? This is you speaking to your inner child. What do you need to feel safe? What do you need to feel loved? What is your gift? What is your biggest fear? What are your dreams for your life? What nurtures you? What do you love about yourself? What brings you joy? What was my favorite activity as a child? When did I stop doing this activity? How does that make me feel? Did I ever get back into this activity? Who was around me when I showcased my talent? How did they respond? Was it supportive or not? How did I respond to their reaction? What did I want to be when I was a child? What am I passionate about now? How do I comfort myself? And if you truly listen, if you sit in meditation, and you imagine your inner child facing you, just imagine yourself as a kid, how you looked as you were a kid, and speak directly to her or him or them. And speak to them and hear what they have to say. Ask these questions and don't put your 2 cents in like what you think they'll say or anything. Just listen, ask the question and surrender, release. Don't try to force anything in your head and see what comes to you. See what messages come to you. And you will connect to your inner child and you will find out what you need to feel safe, to feel loved, to be the best version of yourself, to embody that inner child and invite more play and inspiration and exploration into your life. So, that is it for this week, guys. Thank you! Thank you! Arigatou gozaimasu! For listening. I am extremely grateful for you. Thank you for listening to this podcast, as always. Thank you for supporting me. Again, you can go to thewritingsofnatalia.com and join my mailing list. I will be sending out some stuff soon. You can get notifications when I write blog posts. I write blog posts every day, so you can just go to that website every day for a new blog post. You can always just go to the link in my bio. And yeah, it's gonna be great, guys. I hope you decide to join. Again, there's the ThirdEyeCyphs private community on Facebook. It's a group. I might open it to the public, who knows, but just join it, guys. I'm going to be posting some stuff in there for you to learn about. So this is a great way to grow community, find like-minded individuals, and learn things and share and communicate ideas. So I'm extremely grateful for you. Extremely grateful for you again. I'm phasing out, guys. Phasing out. And I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope this episode helped you somehow. I hope you can relate to it. I hope that maybe you can put some conscious effort into helping your inner child or just becoming more aware of your actions, your thoughts, your emotions. And I hope you've gained some inspiration and want to take some action. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I truly do. Like, you probably think like, oh, she's just saying like she loves us. Like, no, I like truly love you. Like, I love you. Like, if I were me, every single one of you, like, I will look you in the eyes and I will tell you I love you because I love you. Because I love you. Because I love you. I do love you. I do love you. It's genuine love. Look, I'm putting all my Reiki love energy into this podcast episode. Embrace it. Okay, hariom. Guys, bye. I love you. Bye. Have a great week. Happy Friday. Happy week. Happy whatever day you're listening to this on. Happy day. Happy evening. Bye. Bye. See you next time. Matane. Bye.
This episode has been brought to you by the writings of Natalia.com. Jai Ma.